Hello, friends of Solar Body Alchemy. How are you? It's Valentina from Dublin.
And it's Kate from England.
So today is on Tuesday, and thank you so much for being with us on a different day. But we have a very exciting theme prepared for you. So we have spoken at length about Libra and relationships last week. But this week, actually, we are going to go a little bit deeper, and we are going to explore why we are seeking certain things in relationships that we could give us ourselves. So why we get lost in relationships sometimes, and as Kate explained it last week, Libra is all about relationships. So Kate, tell us a little bit more about Libra, about relationships, about the wonderful sign that sometimes gets lost a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is Libra season, and Libras they're the scales, aren't they? So they like things to be in balance, and the best way to learn about being in balance is in relationship with another person, because it's kind of how we calibrate how we are, really. You might be able to be in your own company and annoy yourself sometimes, but generally we're all right on our own. It's only when we come into a relationship with other people that we think, oh God, that's annoying me, or oh God, that's amazing, and we kind of reflect back about ourselves. So Libra is very, very relationship focused because they've got this harmonizing quality within them. And in relationship, Libras can often they will seek in a partner what they need in themselves to an extent. So, and we all do this to some degree, but Libras do it especially because they're the opposite sign of Aries, and Aries is very much, this is me, this is my identity, I know who I am and what I want, and that's where I'm going. And the opposite of that is Libra, that says, but what do you want? What can I do for you? How can we stay in a relationship that's completely harmonious? And to some extent, both extremes are unrealistic because you can't have everything your way and you can't completely please other people the whole time.
Yes.
So we're kind of somewhere in between the two in healthy relationship, where we say, these are my needs, and every relationship has got some kind of conditional quality to it. So you might have preferences within a partner, and some of them are concrete game changers if they're not there, and some of them you've got a little bit of flexibility with them. And relationships are also about compromise.
They are, yeah.
But one of the things to really know about ourselves is, are we seeking something from another person first instead of saying, can I actually give that to myself? Because you need to set a standard. The problem is with Libra is sometimes people walk over Libras. Libras are very charming, charming. They can kind of get what they want, but they're people pleasers, so they can be easily manipulated to some degree.
But can I be a little bit provocative now? I'm just wondering, because you said charming, and they can be, they can give you everything you want, but could also be that a way of Libra getting what they want, by manipulating you.
Totally, because it's an inverted Aries, really, because Aries says, this is what I want, and Libra says, this is what I want, but I'm going to go round the houses.
Okay.
In a kind of, because I want you to get what you want, but I want to stay in a relationship. Libra's hardwired to want to stay in a relationship.
Oh, okay.
And a Libra might move from one relationship straight into the next relationship because that kind of independent part is not as well honed as it is with Aries. So they might well slightly manipulate a situation so that they can get their needs met, because they don't want to jeopardize the connection.
Yeah. And actually, you raised a very good point before, Kate, when you said that, they are kind of always looking for someone to give them what they want. and that the fact that they jump from a relationship to a relationship, it almost feels like they are a little bit afraid of being on their own. Like they don't feel that they are strong enough to hold themselves, to give themselves what they need and what they want.
Yeah, and this is the difference between Aries and Libra. Aries will tell you what they want. They'll be quite explicit.
Yeah.
And Libra might not know what they want because they're thinking of the other the whole time.
Yeah.
And what we can find in relationship is we really get to know ourselves when we're in relationship with another person. And we can end up in compromised relationships. So say, for example, I might not be very assertive. And so I might seek a partner who's assertive so they can do that for me. So that we kind of get into like a compromised bargain relationship. And I might be very empathic or empathetic. And they might not be. So they take their emotional intelligence from me and vice versa. So we can end up in relationships sometimes swapping what the other doesn't have.
Yeah.
But it's really worth looking at what is it that you're attracted to in another person, because is that a true attraction, or is that something that actually you could cultivate in yourself, and therefore what you're actually seeking in relationship is partnership, where you're two whole people enjoying life together.
Yes.
Rather than feeling like you're in deficit if that person isn't around.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that the best relationships are actually the ones where the partner teaches you, to cultivate those qualities that are not naturally yours.
Yeah.
And, it might be perhaps food for thought, thinking about if you are in a relationship that starts to go bad when you start to thrive, perhaps there is something wrong in the relationship. Because it feels like your partner wants you to be in a box, and once you are out of the box, it's like the power dynamic changes, and that's when the relationship starts to go bad, basically.
Well, sometimes people are happy with us how we are.
Yes.
And especially if you're on a journey of personal development, you are constantly evolving and changing and growing and expanding.
Yes.
And sometimes people are able to match that rhythm. And sometimes one of us moves forwards, one of us moves backwards, or one of us keeps going this way, the other doesn't. And this is where relationships can become a bit frayed if they've been based on the missing aspects of ourself, if that makes sense. So if you're not feeling strong and you find a strong partner you can lean on, and then you develop your own core strength, and you suddenly think, well, hang on a minute, I'm not attracted to that quality anymore because we're the same.
Yeah.
And you find yourself attracted to something else in someone else because there's another part of you that this is where we can start to get a sense of what are we finding attractive in other people, because it's something actually that needs reflection in ourselves first and foremost.
I agree. It's a lovely, lovely way of looking at relationships, because the first relationship actually is the one that we have with ourselves. So by working on what our needs are, what we look in other people, it's a lovely way of actually giving us probably a much better understanding of what we need in ourselves.
And we're kind of doing it with Solar Body Alchemy month by month, borrowing the qualities of the different signs. So, so for example, if you really don't like people who are assertive and you think they're arrogant, in April when we focus on Aries month, there might be, you might think, I just don't like being around Aries,
Yeah.
And then when you get to really understand, what's that about? You might think, wow, actually, I'm going to go and find myself an Aries because that quality is something I need to cultivate.
Yes.
I need to understand.
Absolutely. And you make me smile every time that we talk about Libra, when you say that we find Libra where there is chaos.
Yes.
Because it's like they need to bring balance into chaos. And it's such... sometimes it's so counterintuitive, because Libra come across like a sign that it's so sweet and so charming and so, balanced. And you find them in situations that are neither charming nor balanced nor nice. But I guess that it's one of the many contradictions of this star sign.
Well, Libra needs it's innate for them to harmonize, to be diplomatic, and you can't be diplomatic unless people are arguing. So Libras are brilliant in really stressful situations because they go, this is why I'm here. I am here to help you to find some kind of a healthy homeostasis, plateau, whatever it might be.
Balance, really.
Absolutely. And I know this from, I've got some Libra friends who've got like a lot of Libra in their charts. And when things are peaceful, Libras will swing one way or the other. It's quite fascinating. If you put a Libra in a very peaceful place, they try and create a little bit of mischief. They poke a little bit just to see, is it calm? Because that's essentially what the energy is.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And that's why Libra loves relationships so much, because in relationship we come in contact with this difficult, chaotic emotional self, because it gets deep into our attachments and our understanding of love. Are we lovable? Yeah. How do we give and receive love?
And you know what? Actually, also part of my background is arts. Actually, is performing arts, so theater. And I've always noticed how many actors and actresses actually are born under the sign of Libra. And now that I think of it, now that we are talking about it, it really makes me think how they are ready to lose their balance, who they are, so they can throw themselves into the character that they are impersonating. Which is, perhaps it's another aspect of this sign.
Yes, absolutely. So I think it's time to borrow some of this understanding of Libra.
Journal, pen, I'm ready.
Good. Because what we're going to do this evening, I'm loving that it's a Tuesday. I feel different. It's Tuesday.
And we are out of balance.
I'm out of balance.
See, the Libra influence.
Yeah, but my Mars is in Libra, so I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, I have my husband rising sign is in Libra.
Libras, your rising sign really is who you truly are. So that's a fascinating place to have as the rising sign. Okay, right. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on who our ideal partner is, to really get a sense of what are these qualities, because we're looking for them in us first and foremost. Some of those things obviously you need to be in relationship to experience, but it's because the feeling is in you. Okay, so even when you're in contact with another person, say for example sexuality, you need a partner to experience some of those dynamics, but the partnership, the feeling of the connection it's a felt sense in your body. Okay. So when we're focusing now, as we talk about, as we explore who is the perfect partner, no holds bars, okay? You can be as unrealistic as
as we want.
Size of reality.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get into a bit of a meditative state, just so we can start to tune in a bit more with our emotional self. And you can either let yourself be seated or you can lie down, whatever you're more comfortable with. And start to get yourself a little bit more settled. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Or just find a point to focus on where you've got a soft gaze. And letting your focus be with your physical body. And just noticing where your attention goes to as I say that. And for whatever reason, so you might be aware of your body resting on the surface it's on. Or you might be drawn to different temperatures of your body. There might be a place that feels quite warm or maybe a bit cold. And starting to scan through your body, so from the top of your head down to your feet, and just wandering down the body, noticing any sensations. Might be some places where there's stiffness or a little ache. Or you might feel the texture of your clothing in some places that are obvious. Noticing the places that you linger that little bit longer. Also noticing the places where you find yourself speeding up or drifting past. And also just noticing the rhythm of your breathing. And there's nothing that you need to adjust, you're just noticing any movement in your rib cage, any movement in your belly. When you feel like you've explored all the parts of your body in this moment, noticing how they are in the room that you're in, you can let your eyes open if they've been closed, or if you've had a soft gaze, then your eyes fully open and getting your pen and paper. And what I'd like you to do is now just to start to write down your ideal partner and their qualities. And you can just start writing now, and I'm just going to give a few examples as we go, just to prompt you. So what does your ideal partner do for a vocation or a job? What's their career, if they have one? It might be a millionaire who doesn't need to work. And if they are working, how often are they at work? Do you not see them a lot because they're constantly working? Or have they got the type of job where they're around with you all the time? And how old is this perfect partner? What's their background? Are they a foreigner? Do they have a big family? Or are they from your culture? Do they have maybe not much contact with their family? And what are some of the things that they do when they're not working in their spare time? Do they travel? Do they read or watch films? What's the genre? Are they active? Do they play sport? Or do they go to the gym? Do they look after their physical body in a certain way? So it might be that they dress a certain way. They may have their hair a certain way. They might go to the gym and train their muscles to look a certain way. Do they have a big friendship circle? Or are they the type of person who's got a few close friends but actually would rather spend more time with you? Do they want children? Have they got children from a previous relationship? What are their future plans, aspirations, and goals? And it might also help to think about what are some of the things that really annoy you with someone you're in a relationship with. So your perfect partner's not doing those things. So it might be that they're always on time. Or it might be that they cook and wash up. You don't have to worry about that. They just do it. It might be that your perfect partner just seems to know what you need or buys you gifts or is physically demonstrative. So they might be very affectionate. Now, perhaps you don't like that. So what is it that you need physically from your partner? What's their sexual preference? And what are some of the things that you see yourself doing with this perfect partner? What would you be doing with them? If you were with them right now, where would you be going? How would your life be? And just spending the last minute adding anything else in that may be coming to mind as a result of going through some of these questions. And now what I'd like you to do is have a look at the list that you've created and just let your eyes hover over the page. You might have drawn pictures or whatever it is. And I want you to underscore or highlight in some way the things that really matter to you the most out of what this perfect partner would be. Just pick like the top 3 or top 4. And having a look at, just look at one of them for now, like the most important one out of the ones that you've highlighted. And I want you to look at what you've written down. Let your eyes close for a moment. And imagine that perfect partner and you you receiving whatever that thing is that you've written down. So it might be that you're traveling with each other, or your perfect partner's got a physical shape that you're really attracted to, or whatever it is that you've highlighted to. And I want you to notice what's happening in your body as you imagine that quality in that partner and how that makes you feel about that relationship with that quality. And sometimes we feel a bit giddy with excitement if we're attracted to something, or you might have a feeling in your stomach, or whatever's happening, it's okay. Letting yourself notice, how is your body responding to what you've underlined. What is it you're getting from that thing? And when you feel like you've got a sense of that, you can open your eyes. And it might be that, later on you can come back and you can look at all those individual things you've underlined and just say, well, what is it about that makes me feel so good if that's something I had in a partner? And the other layer to this is then saying, can I get that myself? Can I give that to myself? And it might be that you can't, so there might be a piece of work there for you to look at some of the blocks to those things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think, oh, if I had the perfect partner who was a millionaire, we would travel the world. And those are dreams that you want, to travel the world and to be without limitations. But why not do it yourself? What is it about the partner being able to do it for you? There's something in that somewhere.
That is so interesting, Kate, because sometimes we think that the other person will come along and fix all of our problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if, because the only time we ever really truly experience that is when we're a baby.
Yeah.
We're completely helpless, and parent comes along, guardian comes along, and gives us everything we need, ideally. If that didn't happen, we can go throughout life feeling like that part of us hasn't evolved beyond needing something to be given to us without us having to give, without us believing that we've got the capacity to give something back.
Mm. Absolutely.
But the beauty of it is that we can. We do.
But that's the thing, and that's it. This exercise made me feel like very empowered. Because, okay, what am I looking for in the other person? And I have to say, especially a few years ago when I was younger, I was much more convinced that, the Prince Charming will arrive and he will fix all of my problems. When indeed, actually, we are our own Prince Charming in a way, or Princess Charming in this case. But it's us. Everything starts with us. I mean, at the end, relationships start from us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we do get whatever it is that we are looking for in ourselves in relationship, the feelings that we have about it, they're in ourselves.
Yeah.
So that the person is the catalyst to that, but the fact that you have the feeling to want to be attracted to, it's already an experience within your body.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like they say, Kate, when you are ready, the right person will appear.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
ooh, what a wonderful theme.
Yeah, carry on with the exercise. It's a good one to keep checking in with sometimes, because when we find ourselves attracted to or even repelled by something in someone, there's something that is unresolved in ourselves, especially if it's quite disproportionate. So if there's someone that's annoying you and you've got no idea why, but they just are, that's you're giving yourself away when that happens. You're losing your power. You come back to yourself and say, well, what is this that I'm in contact with, that this person has allowed me to surface? And same with someone who makes us feel like, wow, they're amazing.
Yeah. That's actually very true. And I invite actually everyone who is listening to us, everyone in our audience, especially the ones that are either in a very good relationship or on the opposite, that they are going through perhaps tough times in their relationships. I think it's very, very important to do this exercise, because it can help you to really focus on what attracted you to that person in the first instance.
Yes. And the important thing is we cannot change the external. We can't change our partners. To do so it's controlling, it's coercive, it's not Libran. We can only say, look, if I had to change everyone out there to suit me, it would be exhausting. 7 billion people in the world or whatever it is. Whereas whatever it is that is coming up in me, I can control that. I can control what rises up in me. So what we're attracted to and what we're repelled by, it keeps coming back to us.
Yeah.
We're in charge of how we relate to other people.
Yeah. Absolutely, Kate. So thank you very much, everyone, for being with us on a Tuesday. So we will let you know for next week. Perhaps there is a possibility that we will be changing our day from Monday to Tuesday, depending on our schedules. So we are trying to work out around it, but we will let you know. So don't worry, you won't miss anything. And we will, if you have any questions, doubts, suggestions, get in touch. And we will see you next week.